So I have a lot of female friends who insisted I be made privy to all of their trials and hardships as a gender. And one thing that I've learned so far is that irregular periods are like a samurai in a Japanese forest that you're trying to traverse. He could be there, but you won't know for sure until it's too late and you're already bleeding. I've been hearing a lot of words and phrases lately that have been making me upset. First word that I want to bring up is barbarian. Now let's take a second to dissect it into the two words that it seems to be comprised of. Once a very powerful warrior now just becomes a thorny white person. And since the word Aryan conjures thoughts of white supremacy, whenever I hear the word barbarian now, all I can think of is a really sharp racist. I also hate the term ghost town because it's very misleading. There used to be this show on television called Ghost Towns of Canada. And whenever I was younger, if I saw that it was on, I would flip to it excitedly, hoping to see, haunted houses or poltergeists or things of that nature, only to be gravely disappointed upon discovering that the show is actually just about a bunch of empty buildings with some stuffy narrator trying to explain why everybody vacated the area. And I'd sit there bewildered because who in their right mind would make a television show concerned entirely with places that are so awful that everyone in them collectively one day stood up, dropped everything they were carrying, said fuck that shit, and left. And here we see the skeletal remains of a baby in its final resting place. The middle of the street. Because the child's parent finally got so bored of living in such a terrible place that he or she could no longer think of a good enough reason to continue holding their infant. And people use a lot of stupid and meaningless phrases that I hate. Another one that comes to mind is plenty of fish in the sea, which I despise for so many reasons. First of all, it's like false reassurance, and everybody accepts it because it's technically true, but any amount of deliberation whatsoever reveals that it's actually no consolation whatsoever. Because when you think about it, most of these fish eat each other for sustenance. So now I'm supposed to feel better about being dumped because you've equated the search for romance with just vicious cannibalism. And some of these fish have little dangly bits that lure their prey in with the promise of something else, and then once it gets close enough, they eat its face. Alright, I don't like being compared to that. My wiener isn't some magic trick that I use to get you close to me. Alright, my wiener isn't just a magic trick that I use to get you close to me. Actually, now that I think about it, some of those anglerfish lures light up, don't they? I wouldn't mind having that. It totally eliminates the need for a flashlight during a blackout. Hey guys, don't worry about the candles. I got all the light we need right here. Plus I get the added bonus of never again hitting the rim when you're trying to pee at 3 in the morning. What was I talking about? Another phrase that I hate is elephant in the room. I mean, people use it to imply that there's an uncomfortable subject that begs discussion but nobody addresses. But you mean to tell me that if you were in a room with an elephant, you wouldn't mention it immediately? There is no living human being that wouldn't say, hey, why is there an elephant in this room that's probably far too small for an elephant to ever exist in? What kind of monster shoved an elephant into the middle of this party and then expected me not to ask about it like I'm supposed to be respectful of it? The elephant in the room is supposed to be some glaring issue that everybody's afraid to bring up. I'm not afraid to ask about the elephant. I'd hope that everybody asked about the elephant so that we could get it out before it made a mess of the carpet. This creature is not meant for indoors, alright? An elephant's piss stream is like 3 fire hoses duct taped together, aimed and blasting straight at the ground. You could bore a cavern into the earth with the ejections from an elephant's dick. Every time this elephant takes a shit, another meter of floor space is ruined forever. So yes, please bring up the elephant. Please get the elephant out of my face. As if bringing up its existence alone is going to drive it into a frenzy. Like he's bitter, sitting in the corner mumbling to himself. Oh, if just one of these motherfuckers asks me why I'm here, I'm going to start stomping everybody. I think what I'm really trying to say is, I want a pet elephant. My point is the language we use is versatile enough that we don't have to concoct phrases that don't actually mean what they sound like. And, if you want to discourage immigration, just show somebody from a foreign country one of our dictionaries, and I promise you they'll run crying back to the place they came from with their kids and the door they floated here on top of. Fuck. Shit. Shit on a dick. Shit on a dick twice, and rub the shit into the dick, and make a painting with the shitty dick